Hello, it is Thursday, November 24th, 2022. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday puzzle today, so we'll have some kind of interesting or intricate or complex or elusive theme, who knows? And this interesting or intricate or complex or elusive, is that what I said? Edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Mitchell Turek, Jake Rodkin, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shulmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel and this series and making it a sustainable part of my daily work. And if you'd like to join their ranks and become a benefactor and receive the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video, where you can also become a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. Thank you to everybody who has become a patron of any sort at any time for any amount. I do very much appreciate it. And you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field as well. And let's get on to the puzzle. So, this is a Thursday crossword. As noted, it was constructed by Pao Roy, who has constructed a handful of puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Order waiting to be deciphered per Jose Saramago. I'm not sure. A grown lad. I wonder if it's a sort of a chap or something like that. A lad, I don't know, it has sort of a bit, I mean, it's just slightly more commonly used in Britain than the US, so I'm wondering if the adult version is as well, but I'm not sure. Salamanca salutation. Hola? Kazakhstan's Aral Sea. Does that help this? Order waiting to be deciphered. Charm? Aroused informally. And things most cars and many clocks have. Why am I not seeing any of these? Things most cars, this one seems like I should be able to figure it out. Things most cars and many clocks have. Most cars. I don't know. Iconic Voyager 1 photograph taken 3.7 billion miles from Earth. Pale blue dot. Maybe dot is a rebus here. So if you don't know what that is, because there's always someone, totally understandably, who is not aware of this when it occurs in the crossword, there's a function called rebus in the New York Times crossword, through which you can enter more than one letter in a cell to put a word or sometimes just some letters in a single cell. And this is a very famous photograph, pale blue dot. I mean, I do know the name of it, so that's why I suspect. And dot seems like the kind of word that could be in a rebus. Maybe we'll get dot throughout the crossword. Let's see. Olivia Rodrigo or Billie Eilish. Oh, I have no idea if that works with dot. I'm going to leave it there for now, because I want to see if some of these other crosses work. NBA's Jazz on scoreboards. Oh, is it the Utah Jazz? Is it Ute or UTH? I have no idea how. I mean, Utah's only 4 letters, so presumably abbreviating it just means removing one of them in 3 letters. I mean, let's see. Quench. If you quench your thirst, you slake your thirst. And cover could be, I mean, it feels like this could be a few things. What about this? So here we have a string of punctuation, which is often used to represent profanity. I'm not sure if that's what this is getting at or if it's just referring to it as punctuation. I'm not sure. Known publicly. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere here, am I? Cover. They're spotted on Lucille. Oh, polka dots. Right? They're spotted on Lucille Ball and Minnie Mouse. Polka dot something. I bet it is dot. Polka dot or polka dotted article of clothing, skirts or something, or dresses? Maybe this is the answer. I'm not sure. TV actor who co-starred in Rocky 3, Mr. T, right? I have not seen actually any of the Rocky films, slightly ridiculously, but I do know Mr. T was in one of them. I to Homer. So presumably this will be the first person pronoun in ancient Greek. But do I know that? That's the question. I'm not sure. What about this? Dot. One's colliding in the Large Hadron Collider. I mean, particles. What is going on here? I don't understand what's going on. It's a particle collider, right? I am missing something about this theme, clearly. Beltway Insider. So the Beltway, often used in U.S. news coverage to refer to be sort of a metonym for political dealings or coverage. So a poll, a politician. Oh, idol. Olivia Rodrigo or Billie Eilish. An idol of some sort. I am just not seeing what this is. Okay, particle. Is there something else? Maybe ions, or I'm trying to think what else this could be in a sort of physics sense. Some baked entrees are what? Don't know. Serf, a peon maybe? You know, a sort of laborer, a manual, a sort of indentured worker. I mean, that's plausible, but there might be other possibilities. So I'm not going to put it in just yet. Pray for polar bears, seals, and wrapper blank sweatshirt. Oh, I have no idea. Space heaters, question mark. Not sure. So there is some sort of pun going on here. I mean, a heater in a slang sense could be a gun. Space could obviously mean many different things. So I'm not sure about this. Put on notice, to warn somebody, to put them on notice. Space heaters, what is that? Seems bad somehow. Probably ends in an S. Space heaters, suns. Oh, the things that are in space and heat us. Suns are heat, generate heat in general. There we go. That's what it is. And eau de parfum, perfume, or in French. Earl sweatshirt? Is that possibly this person's name? Seems bad somehow. Bodes ill, or I'm not sure. Singer with the title single My Bologna, 1979. That would be Weird Al Yankovic, I guess. I didn't know that was his. Why do I not have enough? Maybe the dot has to go in. Maybe the dot is ignored in the downs. Maybe there's a dot in here and it's ignored. So pop idol, maybe? One's colliding. Why? What does that mean? Maybe it's a dot over the I. maybe it's if you sort of imagine literally a dot, a full stop, a period. It's creating a dot over the I, because there's also an I in Weird Al. So if I put that there, does that help here? No, sorry, that's what I meant to do. This would start with an I. Oh, iota. Oh, I as in the letter, not as in the first person pronoun. Right, okay. So ions. It was ions. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so there we go. Oh, wow. I did not see that coming. But I think that's what's going on. What a funny theme. Really stealthily included. That's really interesting. They just mean completely different things in the across and down context. I wonder if it'll accept these as the dot character. Landmass once surrounded by the superocean Panthalassa Pangea. Oops. No. Big Apple debut of 1998 is the iMac. And TV stories sometimes have arcs, story arcs. It has its ups and downs. A graph, I suppose? You could plot a line on a graph which goes up and down. Nest egg option for short. A Roth IRA, maybe? Which is a particular form of retirement account, sort of personal pension in U.S. personal finance. Maybe. You don't usually see it abbreviated RIRA like that. It's usually the word Roth and then IRA, but and so on. Yeah, maybe it's not. It's probably something else. And so on, etc. Maybe. Rapscallion. I'm not very confident about this. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it is the R here. To a certain extent, such or... Yeah, I don't know. The third. So just 3 I's for... As in, John Smith the third with three I's. That could be the IRA then. Maybe this is maybe one of these is a dot. Oh, it's ... And so on, ... You just have, it trails, you sort of trail off. Oh my goodness, wow. Very good, very well constructed. So the nest egg option is just the IRA, the individual retirement account. And a rapscallion is an imp, sort of child who's troublesome, lightly troublesome. To a certain extent, could be ish. Right, there we go. And guests may be welcomed with open arms. There we go. And each is a pop, so you're selling them for, I don't know, 5 a pop. Actress Kirk of Mozart in the Jungle. Oh, did we see this recently? Is it Lola Kirk? Topical matter for the sunburned. Oh, there we go. Right, the official medicinal plant of the New York Times crossword, aloe. And Blank Coltrane, 1961 John Coltrane album, Old Coltrane. So there we go. I think this all looks fine. Boy, I'm really stunned by this. That's just amazing. Okay, what can we look at? NBA's Jazz. Okay, I guess it's UTA for Utah. That makes sense. That would have been my primary guess. Cover. Still not sure. Car at the front of a line, maybe a taxi. You have a taxi line? I don't know. Took to court, sued somebody, took them to court. Savage X Fenty product. I don't know what this is. I've seen these words arranged in this manner before. I have no idea what it means. I just don't know. Surf. Maybe it is a peon. And seems bad somehow. Begins to see a pattern. Oh, connects the dots. Right, there we go. This is what we did up here, in a way. We connected the dots. Very good. So it's not quite a revealer because it doesn't explain what's going on in the puzzle per se, but it's a nice bit of themed fill, I think. Okay, bank based in the UK, HSBC, the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. And pound alternative. Not sure if this means pound the British currency or pound the unit of measurement or pound as in a dog sort of kennel or what? Or pound as in to hit somebody, I suppose. Could be a verb. None of these feel useful when I'm trying to fill this space. What is it? Song of Triumph, a paean. It's sort of a, I don't know, in some ways, sort of a song equivalent of an ode, because you could have a paean to something, a sort of ode to somebody or something, but in this case, it's using it more in a triumphal sense. So maybe not quite odic in this particular context. Okay. A bra, maybe? My first thought was boa, as in a feather boa, but that seems less likely. Let's see. What does that help if it were an R here? Pound alternative. I have no. Oh, euro. It is the currency. Right. Okay. So the euro, which is obviously the currency of the Eurozone, used by most members of the European Union. Okay. Car at the front of a line, maybe. A head something? I'm not sure. Could it be a dot? Oops. Head out. something? It doesn't seem likely. Okay, what am I doing? Known publicly. Made good? You made good? You're known publicly? Doesn't quite work, I don't think. I'll come back to this area. Obviously, I'll need to solve it at some point, but not right this second. Okay, some baked... Oh, potato something? Some baked entrees. Oh, just potatoes. Right, baked potatoes. Fair enough, okay. On and eco-friendly. Here we go. Pound alternative. Oh, right. So is it another currency or is it something else? What about this? On. And cartoonist Thomas Nast was a famous American political cartoonist who I believe is credited with essentially popularizing the logos of the Democratic and Republican parties, the donkey and elephant, respectively. On, atop. Oh, maybe this isn't potatoes. Pot pies, I guess. Oh, and it'll have a dot I because we don't have enough letters in there. There we go. So turn of the century financial crisis, right? The dot-com burst or crash, the dot-com crash, of course. Okay, that was the turn of the century, meaning around the year 2000, as opposed to what I thought initially when I read the clue, which was around 1900. General in American Chinese cuisine, General Tso's chicken is a common dish. I don't know why I couldn't think of a word for that. What was going on there? Anyway, South Asian garment is a sari, and charades are shams. Total sham. Seems bad somehow. Smells, right, this smells, you could say. Yes, I'm suspicious. Heavens, mercy me. Sort of a slightly quaint exclamation. City of 5+ million just north of Royal National Park. It must be Sydney, Australia. Based on that, Phil. And a year in Italy. Anno. And to not get reception is to elope. I think that's a funny, clever little punny clue there with that question mark. So I think what this means is you don't have a wedding reception because you've eloped. You've married illicitly, or maybe not illicitly, but secretly. Or privately, anyway. Literary alter ego Hyde of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the novel. And like all animals in the genus Equus are maned, I suppose. So, I mean, it's the genus that includes horses most famously, and I suppose all of those animals have manes. It's interesting. So to ooze is to seep. There we go. That fits. And sanctify, to bless, to sanctify someone or something. Pound alternative, right. Okay, so this is not currency. It's a pet shop. So it is an alternative to where dogs, for instance, are kept. I suppose in this case, the alternative means you could adopt a dog from a pound, or you could buy one at a pet shop. Okay, 2006 Beyoncé album released fittingly on September 4th. I don't know. I mean, my guess based on the B alone is B-Day, because maybe that's her birthday. I have no idea. Pay attention to details, or a hint to filling in 7 of this puzzle squares. Right, there we go. So an idiom that refers to paying attention to details in particular is to dot the I's. There we go. And that, indeed, is our revealer, the hint to filling in 7 of this puzzle square. So how many of those do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have all of them. Okay, so we at least know we aren't going to be inserting any more dots into the grid. So that was helpful in that respect. Folk rock quartet whose name derives from its members' last initials, CSNY, which is Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. This is one of those initialisms where I've always found it easier to remember the actual names than the acronym itself. Than the initialism itself. I always have to reverse create the initials in my mind. Okay. A rooster crowing before midnight, it was once believed. An omen, I would think. That sounds like the sort of thing people might believe to be an omen. And music genre for Dashboard Confessional, it is emo, the official rock music genre. of the New York Times crossword, because what a useful trio of letters. And even if you don't know the artist in question, I'm not very familiar with Dashboard Confessional, but you can assume it will. I mean, you can't assume, but you could initially suspect it might be emo and see if it matches the fill. Okay, a small bouquet would be a posy of flowers. And about yay high, people sometimes say, gesturing with their hand to indicate about yay high. Art Deco is a style of art from earlier in the 20th century. And then James, who sang A Sunday Kind of Love, Etta James, the great Etta James, and an oral history could be lore passed down generationally. And then the Beyonce album was indeed B-Day from 2006. There we go. Okay, so let's solve this puzzle finally. How do we do that? This one's really annoying. Grown lad. Oh, I don't remember if I had that P when I said chap originally, but maybe it is chap. Does that help here? Things most cars and many clocks have. Alarms. Right, okay, I see. So I guess are most cars, this is a ridiculous thing to wonder, are most cars these days equipped with alarms? I guess they probably are. And many clocks have alarms. Known publicly. And what is this? What is this? I just don't see it. Oh, that's very annoying. I guess it is fitting that we have a clue that consists almost entirely of punctuation in a puzzle in which punctuation was a significant element of the theme. Okay, let's see. Known publicly. I am very confused by these. I feel like I should be able to infer what they are, but I don't seem to be able to. Order waiting to be deciphered. I should have looked back at this. Chaos. Order waiting to be deciphered. That makes sense. Okay, so does that help this? Oh, symbols. They're symbols. Yes, yeah, that's true, because they're not really punctuation. Some of them are bits of punctuation, but some of them aren't. Right, okay. Because the sort of pound sign and the at symbol are not really punctuation, nor the dollar sign. Those are symbols, whereas the exclamation point and the ampersand, you could argue, well, the ampersand, I suppose, I'm not sure if you consider that punctuation because it's really just short for the word and, but the exclamation point anyway is punctuation. So almost none of it was, and yet, yeah, so that was just a poor train of thought from me. Oh, to cover something is to coat it. There we go. And the car to front of a line is a hearse because it would be carrying the corpse. And then aroused informally is horny. There we go. And known publicly is on record. On record. Why didn't I think of that? Okay. There we go. And that's the crossword. Oh, look at that. The little dots have been replaced with large dots. I actually think the small little dots were better. Honestly, they were better at communicating the dot on the I. These are sort of, they don't look like they're from the same typographical universe as the eyes. But fair enough. It's we've solved the puzzle, and now we get this big, extremely overt illustration in the grid. So there we have it. That was the crossword for today, for Thursday, and a nice dot theme. So we had our, this was just very good, and so on, ... I'm glad I sort of came to this after having discovered the theme a bit, because it made that discovery very fun. I suppose if I had come to it originally, I probably would have put in ETC and moved on, actually, to be honest. But it didn't work with the crosses. Anyway, pale blue dot, polka dot dresses, connects the dots, and .com crash. Very good. And of course, in addition to serving essentially as rebuses, actually sort of traditional style rebuses where you have an image that represents a word, they also dot the eyes, as explained in our revealer. So there we have it. A nice Thursday puzzle. I think this is exactly what you want in a Thursday puzzle. It's a bit complicated. It's not a totally brutal puzzle otherwise, but there is something kind of wacky going on that you need to cotton onto. So there we have it. And actually, I was going to turn on the spoiler wall, but I don't think there were any corrections that were particularly necessary from yesterday's puzzle. So I think with that, I will draw this video to a close. Thank you for joining me for the Thursday edition of the Daily Solve, and I'll be back tomorrow, of course, for the Friday puzzle when we begin our 2 days of themeless crosswords. So come back for that, why don't you? And until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.